Meta is under trouble, this as it's now being scrutinized by the centre, and that happens to be our top focus this hour. You're watching the Morning News Hour with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Let's get started with some breaking inputs coming in. This as the Parliamentary Consultative Committee on Information Technology has now reportedly issued a series of directions that could intensify the centre's standoff with Meta and other social media platforms. Among the key decisions, the committee has reportedly given Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg 3 days to respond over the repeated deletion of Prime Minister Modi's video, warning that failing to do so could lead to a review of the platform's safe harbour protections and legal action. The committee has also said that all major social media platforms, including Google, YouTube, X, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram and Snapchat, must remove content related to child sexual abuse material and violations involving women within 3 days or risk losing safe harbour protection. It should be kept in mind that Meta has been summoned and there will be crucial meetings between Meta officials and the government today and tomorrow as well. Let's quickly go across to Sabyasachi, who's been tracking that story for us. Sabya, could you please shed more light on the directives that have now been issued by the Parliamentary Committee for Meta?
Well, see, the IT Parliamentary Committee had strongly questioned Meta regarding its compliance, regarding Meta not fully complying with the Indian laws. And they have given a 3-day ultimatum to Meta to remove the child sexual abuse material that is available on social media platform, on Facebook or on Instagram. So these materials has to be immediately removed within 3 days. And if Meta fail to do so, then there's going to be review or the removal of the safe harbor or the legal protection that these social media platforms enjoys from liability. Now, the IT panel have come down heavily on the Meta officials, where the Meta officials had apologized to the IT panel, but the panel had said that we are not satisfied with your apology. We want accountability and we want that concrete steps should be taken from Meta to make sure that the child sexual abuse material are not being circulated or the ads are not coming in several platforms like Instagram. Now, the panel also point out the fact that how Prime Minister Narendra Modi's message on Instagram and Facebook was restricted. Now, it was restricted not for a few minutes, but it was restricted for 5 hours. So what are the safe harbors that Meta has taken? So they want the complete detailed report from Meta, and that is the reason why the panel had said that we are giving 3-day deadline to the Meta officials. In fact, Nishikant Dubey also pointed out that they are demanding accountability and apology from Mark Zuckerberg himself.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if that apology actually comes in and what exactly transpires in that meeting between the centre and the Meta officials. Many thanks to you, Sabyasachi, bringing us all of those details. Let's try and get in some perspective on what exactly this standoff is and what it could lead to. For that, I'm joined in by cyber expert Amit Dubey. Many thanks to you, Mr. Dubey, for joining in. Many are of the view that this scrutiny should have happened much earlier. And why should Meta even have the right to these safe harbor protections? What is your assessment to begin with?
I think this has been discussed earlier also, that Meta, the scrutiny process of Meta is biased. They were selectively prioritizing some content during CGP protest also. They were selectively removing some content for the clarification. So this is not a new thing. And then when this child pornographic content was sold on Instagram, then the PM Modi speech was removed for 5 hours. All these things are actually aligned with all those earlier complaints that Meta is actually taking selective decisions, which is not actually suitable as per the legal safe harbor given to them as per Section 79 of IT Act. And this is a violation of Sector 79. So they should not now use this liberty, and they should be treated as a content creator and moderator. And that's why I think the legal action should be taken against them. This is not first time. This has been reported earlier as well. And Meta should take the responsibility of it. Now they are saying that they will moderate their scrutiny process and they will improve it.
Absolutely. Mr. Dubey, the big question is, why wasn't this moderation done earlier? why weren't the law enforcement also waking up to this kind of lackadaisical approach that has been adopted so far till now by Meta? The other aspect of the standoff between the center and Meta is also to do with child exploitative sexual content that's been doing the rounds on various Meta platforms, particularly Instagram. What do you think the government can do apart from sending out these directives to ensure that such content is completely eliminated?
I think when these previous social media guidelines were proposed by government in 2023, it was very clear that these platforms will take the responsibility of any such content to remove in time. Now they are taking the advantage of those guidelines. They are removing content which is actually not suitable as per their biased opinion. I think this is something very serious, very, very serious. And I'm putting this allegation seriously because I have seen this in many situations, that Meta is actually taking this call very selective. And sometimes they are even violating the laws. So at a side where they are actually allowing a person to sell this child pornographic content, another side they are actually deleting a content of a prime minister's post. Now this cannot be accepted. So whatever reasons they may have, this is very clear that there is someone who is taking biased decisions. And this is not only AI decision. This cannot be an AI decision. AI cannot take this call because there is nothing wrong in PM's speech. Or if they have, this has been removed because of some automated scrutiny, they should give us the reason. What was wrong in that speech? Why it was removed for 5 hours? They don't have any such clarity on it. So that's why I'm saying that there are some human involvement. There are some people, those are actually trying to use their power to create a biased, selective removal of content or pushing advertisement, and that's why it is harming.
Absolutely.
Democratic system.
Apart from just political bias, there's also the fear of how AI is being misused, especially in the age of fake news and disinformation. That there's a lot that the government needs to address, particularly when it comes to the safe harbor protections that have been granted to Meta at the moment. Many thanks to you, Mr. Dubey, for sharing those invaluable insights with us here at Times Now. With that, now remember, the Modi government has significantly stepped up scrutiny of Meta. What began with the controversy over the temporary removal of Prime Minister's video has now widened to include concerns over alleged child abuse material, advertisements, AI-generated deepfakes, and the platform's content moderation systems. Just yesterday, it was here at Times Now, which told you that the centre had summoned Meta's global public policy head Joel Kaplan, along with an Instagram technical officer. Now, with that meeting scheduled for today, sources tell Times Now that the government is expected to seek answers on child safety safeguards, AI-related risks, and algorithmic functioning as well. So even as the centre tightens the screws, Meta is facing scrutiny from another front. Which one is that? The National Commission for Protection of Child Rights has launched a probe into allegations that Instagram carried advertisements that are linked to child sexual abuse material. Remember, reports had come to light on 3rd July when a journalistic investigation found that Instagram India promoted ads that were selling this kind of child sexually exploitative material, with advertisements redirecting users to even Telegram channels that were selling illegal content. So the Commission will now examine Meta's compliance and child safety mechanisms as well. On that note, let's also take you through what is the safe harbor protection that has in fact been granted to Meta. There's of course the NCPCR, which has already been probing that. But if you talk about Section 79 of the IT Act, which is what the safe harbor is all about, to begin with, it grants a legal shield to these platforms. It limits the liability for user-generated content as well, which is why we are seeing this kind of sexually exploitative content, particularly on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So the protection also is subject to due diligence, the onus of which is left on various platforms, whether that is Instagram, Facebook, even WhatsApp. Platforms must adhere to those, and if those safeguards are not implemented by these platforms, they can lose their safe harbor protections over non-compliance. And that is exactly what could happen to Meta if they fail to meet the directives that have been sent out by the Parliamentary Committee.